Hey guys, good morning. I know it's been a minute since I've been live, and you can probably hear Kylie's violin. Hopefully it's not too loud. But this has been so strong on my mind this last week, and especially this morning, that I wanted to share with you something that has made this whole situation so much easier. I know that I'm not alone in being overwhelmed by having my kids home 24 hours, literally 24 hours. We can't really go anywhere. All of the transition to home-centered online schooling and home-centered church and the restrictions, we can't even, shouldn't even be taking the kids to the grocery store. My kids haven't left the house other than our walks around the neighborhood for I don't know how long. So I know that I'm not alone in the struggle with this, but I do feel like that I am among the minority as far as how well we're handling it and where my mindset is. And I feel like there are so many moms right now whose mindset is struggling to stay positive, feeling so overwhelmed even after several weeks of this, feeling so distraught, really, and just struggling to stay afloat. And I've been thinking about this so much in the last week and wondering what I'm doing differently that's helping me to see the positive in this before I look at the negative. Most days are good days. We're enjoying this. We're making the most of every moment rather than just trying to get through every moment. So I wanted to figure out what it was so that I could share it with you, because I just want to do whatever I can to help those of you who take the time to read my posts, right? You guys are my family. You watch my kids grow up. You have come through in just beautiful numbers of people who have reached out with my request to celebrate my little man for his birthday. I am shocked and awed, oh my gosh, by those of you who've reached out willing to help me with this little project, and you guys are my family, and I just wanted to find a way to give back. So I've talked to you guys a million times about my morning routine. I've been doing it now for 6 years. It's a long time. And I'm realizing how amazing it is that I've stuck with it for that long. And as I say that, there have definitely been times where I let my morning routine slip, where I start sleeping in again, or where I'm not as intentional with the things I do when I do wake up. But it never lasts long before I recognize the difference it's making in my life, and I pull myself right back to these basic concepts that have been such a blessing in my life. So 6 years of this morning routine. I was a night owl. I grew up spending weekends and summers with my big sister Jennifer, because it was cooler than being at home, and I could be her live-in babysitter, and her husband worked nights, and so we would literally stay up all night. We'd put the kids to bed, we'd stay up all night, watch scary movies, and eat the worst crap food ever. I was raised a night owl. That is just my natural tendency. And then sleep in as long as I possibly can. I mastered the teenage sleeping in. I would come home from being with friends late as a teenager and stay up even later with my big old pot of no-bake cookie dough that I would just eat by the spoonful. I'm not even joking about that. As I read a book until 2, 3, 4 a.m. and then I'd go to sleep. So I'm telling you this because the first thing that I hear when I talk about waking up early is, I'm not a morning person. That's too hard for me. I'm a night owl. I get it. That's me too. That was always me. And I will not pretend that it was easy to transition to being a morning person, but I will tell you that it didn't take as long as I would have expected. And it was instantaneous that I felt the benefits. Literally the very first day that I followed this morning routine, by the end of the day, I was just like, what was that? Let's do it again. Okay, so don't worry if you're not used to waking up in the morning. I want to encourage you to try this because it will change your life. It will change your life if you stick with it. If you don't stick with it, it'll change your day. It'll give you a really great day. That's fine. But if you stick with this for the long term, it will literally change your entire life. There is no aspect of your life that it won't touch. So when I began this, I started to wake up early. My kids were still little. And I had a book that I was following. It's called The Miracle Morning. I've since kind of added different elements beyond what he teaches in that book, but that's what got me started, and it's a great place to start. And I started because my kids were little, and I was overwhelmed with the toddler stage. I don't do well with toddlers. I like this stage so much better. I was super overwhelmed, and I was not getting enough time in for me. So I started this as a way for me to have kind of a space that was my own. And I noticed something really specific really quickly. Before my early mornings, I would sleep as long as the kids would let me, right? And those of you who have toddlers right now, this is probably really familiar. I would sleep until my kids woke me up. I remember almost every morning, Brett would leave for work at 7:30 in the morning. He would come and kiss me goodbye and walk out the door like I was not up when he was getting ready for work. That was all I saw of him, was he would come and kiss me goodbye. And then whenever the first kid woke up, they would come and get in my face and wake me up, and I hated it. I was such a mean mom when they woke me up. I hated being woke up. I was still like a teenager in that respect. And when I began waking up earlier, I noticed really quickly that I was excited for my kids to wake up. I had done my reading and my spiritual stuff. I had done my exercise. I was done, and I was like, well, now what? And when it was time for my kids to wake up, I would go wake them up, and it would be with hugs and kisses, and I'd sing my mom's "You Live in a Zoo" song, "Good morning to you." And of course they hated it because no one likes to be woke up. But I was so happy and loved being with them in the mornings, and that has continued. And I realized really quickly that on the days that I don't wake up before my kids, I'm a momster. I am a mad, mean mom for the entire day. And that holds true even now. My kids, if I sleep in, they don't come near me. They turn on the TV as quiet as they can so I won't wake up. And they do their thing, and they're like, yeah, we get the run of the house. And it doesn't matter if I sleep as long as I want and wake up naturally. I'm a momster for the whole day. For no reason, I can just snap like that the whole day. I'm such a grouch. And a lot of the time, it's not until later in the day that I'm like, oh, duh. I didn't do my stuff. I didn't get up and have that time for myself. So even today, even now that my kids are teenagers and tweenagers and totally self-sufficient in so many ways, I am a momster if I don't wake up and get this morning routine. So if you're in a place, especially those of you who are still raising toddlers, if you're in a place where you feel like you have no patience with your kids, you feel like you're yelling too much, and I know when I was in that position, it hurt my heart. I knew that I was yelling too much. I knew I had no patience. I knew that I didn't enjoy being with my kids. But when I thought about it, that hurt me. I was like, I love my babies. I love that I get to be home with them. Why am I like this? Why is this so hard for me? And I had no idea. I had no idea that I was just not, number one, getting that time for myself. And number two, I was doing nothing to take care of myself and to grow as an individual, as a human being, as Candace. I was just momming 24/7, and everything I did was mom, 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 mom. There was nothing that was just me, just Candace. And that is one of the truly biggest blessings that has come from this. Is it is dedicated, built-in time in my day that is me. I am doing this for me. I am having time to learn and study my scriptures. I'm having time again to journal. I'm having time to do my exercise without interruption. I'm having time to do me and to take care of me and to grow me. And it's built into my day. What a blessing. The reason it's suggested that you do this in the morning, obviously do it during nap time, you can do it in the evening, whatever. You can do all of these things anytime. But will you? I have had so many moms who are in the toddler stage or newborn, and your baby's still waking you up in the night. So you really do need the sleep. There are definitely phases in life where waking up early is not the best option, but they will say, okay, I'm going to do it when the baby naps. But what happens is the chores, the household chores that are falling behind because baby's been really clingy lately, they take precedence, and you can't calm your mind enough to do the things for yourself because all you see is chaos, and you've got to use this time to clean. Or you sit down to do your reading and your mom calls on the phone, or your best friend, or your neighbor, or whatever. Or whatever it is, there's always something that interrupts that time, and it doesn't become ritual. It doesn't become habit. It doesn't become a regular time that you have for yourself. And the same thing goes for evenings, right? You can do it for the evenings after the kids are in bed. That seems to be safe time, right? Well, how many evenings do you leave the babies with a babysitter and go on a date? Or leave the babies home with dad and go on a girls' night out? All good things. How many evenings are you too freaking tired to do anything? And as soon as the kids are in bed, you are done for the day. You're not cleaning, you're not cooking, you're not even like TV, you just zone out. You're done. That was always me. When my kids were toddlers, 8 o'clock, like they better get in bed right now because I am done momming. I'm still kind of that way. My kids know that 8 o'clock, I'm not mom anymore. So you're just so done by that time of the day. You're exhausted. So even if you're really good about sitting down to do it, you're not getting as much benefit out of it because your brain is tired and because you're going to read the stuff and then you're going to go to sleep. And it doesn't have any benefit in your day. So by doing this early in the morning, before the world is awake, no one's going to be calling you on the phone. No one's going to be knocking on the door. And most of the time, no one's even going to wake up in your house to interrupt you. Now, when my kids were little, yes, they would wake up. If I woke up early, there were lots of times that one of my toddlers would wake up with me. They would hear me out in the living room. They'd be up. That's going to happen. If you have young kids, that's going to happen, and you have to be prepared for that. And just don't let it frustrate you and make you think you can't do this. You don't necessarily have to be alone, but you do have to teach your kids that this is the new normal. Okay, so when my little ones would wake up, I would snuggle them. They always wanted to come out and snuggle with mom, so I'd snuggle them. We'd tuck them in with their blankets and their bear or whatever they brought out with them. And if they got chatty, I would say, "Hey, Ian, this is mom's time. Okay, if you're going to be out here to snuggle me, I love it, but mom's reading and you need to be quiet or you need to go get back in your bed." And lots of times he would snuggle right in and almost snooze on my lap. Or sometimes he'd be like, oh, really restless. So I'd say, why don't you go get a picture book? Why don't you go get your coloring book? And so he would get something and do his quiet time next to me. As he got older, Brianna was really good. If she woke up, she would just snuggle me. She knew she would just come snuggle in. She might bring a book or whatever. They started to understand that early time was quiet time. And it was, they could bring a book and mom would let them sit with them, but it wasn't time to come and visit with mom. They learned that pretty dang quickly because I was really consistent. I said, okay, if you're going to be out here, you're going to be quiet or you can go back to bed. And I was very firm on that because I knew already how much this was going to bless all of us. We got to a point as they got older, there will be like stages where Ian especially, he's a morning boy. He wakes up early. There will be stages where he's waking up really early and he'll just bring his scriptures. And even before he could read, he would sit next to me and look through his Book of Mormon. And I'd let him have colored pencils and he would underline stuff. And it was the cutest thing. So you have to be the mom. You have to be the parent. You have to be the boss. And you have to teach them, no, now is not the time for the TV. No, now is not the time to chit chat. I would love to talk with you. But until the clock says 6:30, this is mama's time. You need to let mom do her thing, okay? And you've got to teach them. They don't know. This is new. This is different to them too. Like, Mom, why are you up? It's still dark. why am I not having to pull you out of bed? It's new to them, okay? Mom's awake. We should be awake. So you're going to have to be patient with your kids, and you're going to have to teach them. My kids are older now, and they just know. They don't come out to snuggle me necessarily. If they wake up, they know to leave me alone. And actually, since we had to start staying home from school and our routine has kind of changed, we have a new rule, especially for Bree and Ian. They're the ones that wake up. Kylie and Aiden couldn't care less. They'll hide until I drag them out of their rooms. But Brianna and Ian have a rule now that they don't leave their rooms until 7. They know they can wake up. I don't care if they wake up. I really don't. But they don't leave their rooms until 7. They can read a book. They can color. They can draw. They can do Legos. I don't care what they do in there. But they don't leave their room until 7. And that has helped them actually to sleep better because there's less of that fear of missing out. I think that's what it is for a lot of kids, is they worry that they're missing out. What's mom doing? And now that there's this rule that they can't come out, they're like, well, I might as well just sleep. So we don't have a problem with it anymore. My kids know not to mess with that time, and they know that our days go so much better when I have that. The other thing, what was I going to say? Something else about the kids, but it's gone. Anyway, the other thing that's really helping me, it's not just that I'm getting this time to myself. It's not just that, because that's really good. But you can't just wake up and use that as time to scroll through Facebook uninterrupted. You can't just wake up and pick up a novel. I mean, you can read a novel in the evening when you're exhausted. That's not what this is for. This is for growth. We are growth-minded beings. Even if you don't think you are, we are growth-minded beings, and we were designed to reach for more. We were designed to always be growing and learning. That's why humans are so advanced. That's why we are constantly seeing new advancements in technology, because we were designed to grow and reach for more. And even if you don't feel like you're looking for more of anything, your brain was designed to constantly be challenged and learning. So when we are growing up, we're constantly learning. We're learning like fine motor skills. We're learning how to talk. We're learning how to walk. We're learning all through our school years. We're learning constantly. Then we're learning how to transition from child to teenager to adult, like that whole transition, learning. And then we go to college and we're learning. Or you go to trade school or you learn a new job, learning. When you're a parent, you're learning, obviously, always, but it's not a constant thing. It's a once in a while, like, holy crap, that threw me for a loop. I didn't realize we didn't have this figured out yet. But especially if you're a stay-at-home parent, but also if you have a career, if you work in a job that doesn't change very much, you're missing that growth element in your life. And that becomes something that just drags you down mentally, even if you don't realize it. So this morning time, if you were to take my challenge that I'm going to give you, ready for that? This morning time isn't just to be idled away. It's not just because it's quiet. It's very specific, and it's to be focused on things that will help you individually to grow. Okay. Now that's different for everyone. And I don't want this to be a super long video. So I'm not going to teach you like my specific routine. But you have to be intentional with that time. You have to be filling your mind with positivity, whether it's studying your scriptures. I'm doing this 21 Days Closer to Christ by Emily Bell Freeman. That's my study right now. I'm also reading Because of Christ on Calvary by Brad Wilcox. He's my favorite. But this is just a little short one. This will be just for this week, for Easter week. And then those are both scripture-based, but I'm always doing something in my scriptures in my mornings. I'm doing my journaling, like I mentioned, but then I always have, and I don't have it here because I took it upstairs, I always have a personal development book. That's my personal development shelf back there. That's helping me with my mindset. Okay, it's not spiritual, it's temporal, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's helping me with confidence. It's helping me with anxiety. It's helping me to lead my team better. It's helping me in some way, and it's like I'm back in school. It's like I'm choosing a subject and I'm studying it for myself. And that is what's going to change your day. It's not just that you woke up early, and it's not just that you had quiet time to yourself. That's a superpower all by itself. But it's using that time very specifically to put good things in your head. Good, positive content. I'm sorry. For the most part, Facebook doesn't count. Facebook cannot be your positive content. Even though there's a couple feel-good videos or quotes, there's also so much drama and so much negativity. And your brain is hardwired to find the problem. Okay, our brains are wired for survival. So we will focus on negativity. We will hone in on that, and that will be our focus for the whole day. So you could scroll Facebook for 10 minutes. You could read 5 positive quotes that you just love, watch one feel-good video that was just so heartwarming, and then read one tiny little status update that's negative and like judgmental of somebody, like, oh, I'm so sick of these people not staying home. You should have seen how busy the store was. And that is all you will take out of it. You will fixate on the negativity for the whole day. You'll forget all of those happy quotes and that feel-good video, and you will fixate on that and be like, oh, am I going to the store too much? Yeah, man, look at all these cars going past my house. Oh, there goes my neighbor. How many times has she been out this week? Like, you will fixate on the negative. You have to be in control. For this time period, for this morning, you have to be in control of the input. You have to be intentional about what you're bringing in, which is why you have to get off of social media during that time. You have to choose good things to put into your mind, whether it's spiritual or temporal. You get a PD book, read something that is going to leave you with positivity, and you're going to have a better outlook your whole day. Okay, here's my challenge. I am going to challenge you to try this. I know it seems crazy, but I will tell you this morning on a Saturday morning when most people are sleeping in, as I was sitting here in my office, my whole house was dark and quiet, and I knew the whole freaking world was dark and quiet because it's Saturday morning. Who gets up early on a Saturday? I realized this is my superpower. This is my superpower, and this is what has me thriving instead of just surviving. This is what is helping me to smile and be positive and optimistic about everything that we're facing right now, about everything else that ever is going to come my way or has come my way. There's always a challenge. There's always a trial. And this helps ground me. And it helps me to face these challenges with grace and with optimism and with happiness and motivation. And I'm teaching my kids the same thing. Kylie wakes up an hour after I do. She wakes up at 6 a.m. as a 14-year-old teenager. She wakes up at 6 a.m. to do her scriptures and her journaling, and she usually does some of her painting because for her that's kind of like meditation. Aiden's starting to do it. Aiden wakes up actually at the same time as me, and he reads his scriptures in his room, and then he works out with me. I'm teaching my children these habits. Imagine these teenagers going off to college in a few years with this habit. How much stronger are they going to be? How much more successful are they going to be because of this one habit, this one routine in their lives? So I'm going to challenge you to try this. You can wait till Monday if you want. That's cool. Whatever works for you. But I'm going to challenge you to wake up an hour before anyone else in your house is up. You need an hour before anyone else is up. So who's the earliest riser in your house? You need to wake up an hour before that. Give yourself that hour. Prepare the night before. What are you going to be reading? What are you going to be filling that time with? Where are you going to do it that you'll be uninterrupted? I'm in my office at the moment. In the winter, it's too freaking cold down here, so I just do it in the living room upstairs. Find your spot. Get everything that you're going to need. Have it ready the night before. Set your alarm. Don't let your alarm be on the nightstand because you will snooze. Put it across the room where you have to get out of bed. Whatever clothes you're going to wear, have them ready. You get out of bed, shut off the alarm, and change. Done. You're awake. I put on my workout clothes right when I wake up because the end of my morning routine is my workout. So I just put them on, and I will not do anything else in the house until my workout's done. That works for me. So find what's going to work for you. Have your clothes ready to go. Get out of bed, get dressed, get to your spot, and dive in. and try it. Just try it. You'll notice on the first day, you're not as tired as you expected. That's the first thing I noticed. Not nearly as tired as you expected to be. You'll also notice you feel really proud of yourself. That's really fun. You just feel so proud of yourself for doing something that you know is good. Instinctively, you're going to know that it was a good thing. And at the end of the day, you're going to be tired. You're going to be exhausted. But who isn't? But if you take the time in some quiet before you go to sleep to review your day, I think I'm willing to bet that you're going to find that there was more good than bad. I think you're going to find that you had a little bit more patience. I think you're going to find that you had a little bit more enjoyable time with your kids. I think you're going to find some benefits that came from it. And I think that's going to be your motivation to continue. One day. I want to challenge you to do it for a week. All of those benefits are going to compound over time, and it just gets better and better and better. So I'm going to challenge you to try this for 1 week. Wake up an hour before anyone else in the house. Fill that time with positive inputs, study, prayer, meditation, whatever it is for you. Do a workout. Even if your workout is really basic, and even if it's only 10 minutes, even if all you do is like pull something up on Pinterest and it's like 50 jumping jacks and 5 push-ups and 3 sit-ups and 20 crunches, or I don't know. Whatever it is, even if it's only like 5 or 10 minutes, get your blood pumping, get your body awake, get it moving as part of your morning routine. Do it for a week. I'm challenging you to try this. I want to hear about it because I want to see how it changes your life. I have never yet had anyone take this challenge and not be transformed. Never. I have never had someone do it and say, "Nah, I didn't get any benefits out of it." Never. This is 100% success rate. So I want to hear from you. I would love to hear your experiences. If you're somebody who uses stories, put it in your stories. Share what you're doing and tag me. I'd love to see it. Come back and comment here. Actually, comment here and tell me if you're going to take the challenge. I'd love to see who's doing it, and I'll check in with you. But yeah, I'd like to hear from you. I'm going to challenge you to try it. And if you want more training on this, I am preparing for my Life Ignited community. Beginning next week, I'm going to be training them more in depth on what to do during that time. I'm going to be giving the resources. I'm going to give them the whole routine, right? So if that's something that you feel like you need, and if you want that extra guidance, just reach out to me, shoot me a message, and I'll talk to you about what needs to be done for you to be part of that community. I'd love to work with you. You know I would. I'd love to get you set up to be doing a solid workout routine. It is such a stress reliever. And I think that you would be so blessed to be part of this community that we've built, because just like I've just taught you about the morning routine and how it helps you to be a more positive person, our whole community is like that. So you're surrounded virtually by a whole bunch of women who are working to have a more positive outlook, a more growth-minded lifestyle, and there's no negativity. And it is the most bizarre setting I've ever found on social media. Any other group I've ever been in, there's so much negativity balanced by the good, and you have to really be careful about what you read in there. But our community's not like that. It is 100% supportive, and it's encouraging and inspiring. It's beautiful. So I really think you'd be blessed by it. If you're looking for something, if you're struggling and you need some help, I'd love to work with you. But take my challenge. Let me know if you're going to take it. Let me know how it goes. And hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully it blesses your life. Have a good day, guys. Happy Easter.